present to this day, but we still in bondage, man.
We in hardcore mental bondage.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hardcore.
Not in that
Because these niggas are asleep out here. I was at work the other day, you know what I'm saying, talking to these jakes, and man, they were so wicked, you know what I'm saying, they were calling me wicked. But they didn't know the level of wickedness that they were exhibiting. Because they tried to present they said the statement, the guy said anybody that wants to destroy anything doesn't have love in their heart. Or what he said, let me get it right. Anybody that wants to destroy anything, their heart ain't right. That's what he said. There's something wrong with their heart. So I said, okay, if the Most High wanted to destroy America, then there's something with the Most High's heart. He would dance around the bush. And he said, then I said, okay, well, if the Most High wants to destroy America, and I want America to be destroyed because that's what the Most High wants, does that mean there's something wrong with my heart? And once we did go over, you know what I'm saying, the heart doesn't mean your physical, actually blood pumping heart, it means your mind. Because it's mindset to have that ideology. It's not your heart that's thinking that, it's your mind. And he would dance around that question. He said, well, you're not the Most High. I'm not the Most High, but aren't we supposed to strive for perfection?
So he left us an example.
Right. The Lord left us an example. If that's what he wanted, that's what I wanted. You know, and man, these jakes, man, they, you know what I'm saying, they gonna get it in that day, man. I can't wait till the destruction comes. Cause you niggas, man, you're not gonna get it. So the only way to save you, man, we gotta take you out. And they had a problem with that too.
Just like we was reading in the book of Ecclesiastes. Physically, it was talking about father in the flesh, leaving a vengeance for his enemies. The Most High, Yahweh Shem Yahushua did that to his elect, man.
God.
He left an avenger against his enemies. Because we gonna get to put our hands on all the enemies of the Lord, man. No Lord's will for the elect. Alright, so them type of niggas that read the Bible, say they read the Bible or read the Bible 3 or 4 times in their lifetime, they still be bugged out. They're still thinking that if you want to destroy something because it's the Most High's will, that you ain't in your right state of mind.
Right. And I brought up that point too. I was like, man, you calling me wicked for wanting wickedness abolished. I said, okay, so did the Lord want people killed? No, Jesus never wanted nobody killed. I said, what is that, Luke 19:27, where it says, then we have not worship before we bring in front of these slaves. That's red letters. That's the Lord literally saying, if you're not with me, then you need to be put to death. And they didn't want to accept that. No, man, that's not what it's saying. That's not what it's saying. You got to read up.
So what about in Amos, when it says the slain of the Lord shall be many? The slain is the dead. The Lord's going to kill people.
Right.
So how do you explain that?
What about when the fishers turned to hunters? He agreed. We read, you know what I'm saying, where the Lord said, I'll make you fishers of men. And then in Jeremiah 16:16, where it says he'll send for many fishers, and they shall fish them. And after that, he'll send for many hunters, and they shall hunt them. What are the hunters going to hunt? Are they going to hunt ants? No. If they were fishing for men, they're going to turn to hunters. They're going to hunt men. And they're going to put them wicked ass niggas to death.
Revelations chapter 13, verse 6. And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against the Most High, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle and them that dwell in heaven.
That's right. Them that dwell in heaven, because they making mockery of the saints, man. They making mockery of everybody that did lay down their life for this truth. You're saying they covering up the judges.
And it was given unto him to make war with the saints and overcome them. And power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations. If I may elaborate, it says, and it was given to him to make war with the saints and to overcome them. That's why to this day, man, we're in this state. We don't question why are we in this state, because the Most High gave them the power to overcome us. All right, we supposed to be in mental slavery. We were supposed to go through hardcore bondage. We're supposed to deal with two-thirds of the nation of Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. We're supposed to deal with them being retards, man. All right. What else is said? And power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations. And that's ultimately talking about Israel, man. Because we have Israelites of different
appearances.
Yeah, different appearances. I don't want to say ethnicities. We all say ethnicity. Different appearances. We have brothers in London. We have brothers in we got brothers all over the world, man. Throughout the four corners. We got a brother in China right now that was born in China, had a Moabite mother. His father happened to be a Jacob. All right, we got Israelites all over the world, man. Ultimately, yeah, Esau does damn near control the world. Violence, of course. But this is talking about Israel, man. The Lord's not worried about these other nations. He's worried about Israel. Verse 8. And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb, slain for the foundation of the world.
That's right. Back that up.
It says, and all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him.
Talking about the beast.
Whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb.
That's right. So all the other nations, their names not written in the book of life. So what they gonna do? They gonna follow after America. They gonna take that shit. They gonna do whatever it is they gotta do to survive this so-called world. It says, like I said earlier, they were afraid.
It says, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb, being Yahushai, who was slain from the foundation of the world. Slain from the foundation of the world. And that proves that he had to go through that.
Right.
If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity.
We're gonna back it up. Read back who's that verse 5. Read verse 5 real quick.
Verse 5. And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given unto him to continue 42 months.
That's right. That's talking about putting us in slavery. You know what I'm saying? Hardcore bondage and mental bondage. It says for 350 years. You know, fast forward to
it says to make war, to continue 42 months.
Right. You know what I'm saying? They made war against us. They slaughtered us. They slaughtered the Negroes in slavery. They slaughtered the Latinos in Spanish Inquisition. They slaughtered the Native Americans when they came to this land, from coast to coast. In Canada, in Alaska, and all these places. From Alaska down to the tip of South America, the Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans have been oppressed and damn near eradicated. Because we were way more populous back then than we are now. The Taínos were damn near wiped out as a people. Look at the Aztecs, the Mayans, the Incas. They were wiped out. Whole civilizations wiped out by the so-called white man. You gotta pay for that. The Bible won't give you your judgment. Go ahead and read that, bro.
If any man have an ear, verse 9, if any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity.
That's right, you led us into captivity. That's the reason why we have these names that we have now. Because when we came over here, I'm pretty sure my ancestors that came over here, last name wasn't Crawford. You know, the Latinos, Rodriguez and Sanchez. These are all Spanish names. That proves right there that when the Spanish came over, they had rule over you. They changed your names. They changed your language. You wasn't speaking Spanish. You wasn't Hector Rodriguez. You know?
He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword.
And that's what they did. When Christopher Columbus came over here, he said there wasn't a day that he didn't set his sword down. Not for 1 minute. You know? Killing, constantly killing. And you can join that. That's why he says, can you read that in Thessalonians? Yeah. You know, they came over there, they killed us, they killed the Negroes, they put us on the slave ships. 1 out of 10 made it. You know, probably 100 million slaves didn't even make it to America. And then you eradicated the Native Americans, you eradicated the Latinos.
Smallpox blankets.
Yeah, smallpox blankets. Having the dogs get to our people, cutting babies out of the women, using them for alligator bait. Man, you did that. No, it's these points. It says, surely
oh, that's right. 2 Thessalonians chapter 1, verse 6. Seeing it is a righteous thing with the Most High to recompense tribulation to them that trouble.
That's right. It's righteous thing with the Most High to pay them back, to pay back these devils for everything that they did to us. It says give them double unto they double according to their works. And those are your works. So we're going to do double unto them what they did unto us.
Hey, just like we all know, the Lord said we should meditate terror. Right? So like we always say, and other brothers may have thought it as well, you primarily Edomites in the kingdom of heaven. We gonna be whooping y'all ass every day except the Sabbath. We gonna be waiting for the sun to go down so we can get back to your ass whooping, man.
Oh yeah.
All right, and it's not gonna be no normal, ordinary ass whooping. It's gonna be something that you couldn't, in your wildest dreams, couldn't imagine, man.
You're gonna take great pleasure in it too. It's gonna satisfy our souls. It's gonna give us a feeling that I can't even describe right now because I ain't felt it. The happiness and the gladness and the joy that we're gonna get when we get to fuck you niggas up, man.
That's like it, brother. That's why it's so glorious. That's why these scriptures are so glorious, man. That's why we get so upset, or that's why we're so grieved with our people being goddamn retards, man. Do you know what you have coming? If you knew who you were, you would come back to the Lord, man. If you knew what these crackers had coming, you would come back to the Lord. You would execute judgment. You would say the so-called white man is not my friend. He's my enemy. All right, you would be in your right state of mind, man, because it's gonna be a glorious thing in heaven to fuck you goddamn crackers up, man.
You niggas gonna know that you didn't write for it. Y'all was trying to beat them too. You gonna know within inside yourself that you was bullshitting on the other side.
This is the book of Daniel, chapter 12, and in verse 2, it says, I'll start from 1. It says, and at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as never since there was a nation.
That's right, that's the time that we're coming into now. With the Third World War and the race riots, you know what I'm saying? Concentration camps, famine, etc.
It says, even to that same time, and at that time thy people shall be delivered, everyone that shall be found written in the book.
Right, the elect will be delivered. That's that you niggas